In this video I'm going to show how to replace the stat lock, which is the lock that keeps the tube from moving, getting pulled out. And I'll talk about the differences in the stat locks. So first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands and I'm going to put on gloves this time because I'm going to be right next to the wound. I don't want to cause any problems there. So now that my gloves are on, I'm not going to touch anything, my face or anything. So this kind of bandage is called Leukomed. This bandage is waterproof and it works really good if you need to have a shower. Check with your doctor and stuff about showering. But it's like this really thin stuff that I'll show you when I put it on, but it's really cool. So this is the stat lock here. This is the adhesive part of the stat lock. This is the actual lock that keeps it from, pulling out. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to unlock the stat lock. So that's done by squeezing this part here. It even says lift to open. So you push this in and then this lifts open. This is the stat lock, and we're going to just lift this out, making sure we're not pulling the tube out of the site. Just going to put that over there. Then we're going to take some of these alcohol pads. That's these alcohol pads. I've got a couple here, and we're going to squeeze some alcohol onto the adhesive, because this adhesive is alcohol dissolved with alcohol. Then we can take the alcohol pad underneath and slowly remove. So we're going to slowly remove the adhesive by taking the alcohol pads underneath where I've lifted it and just slowly working at it. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll try to get some alcohol, just squeeze the pads to get some alcohol out of them and try to get that to loosen up. And I've got multiple pads here. I'm using 2, and then once I get the alcohol out of these, then I grab a couple more. I'm just moving the tube over to the other side so I can work on this side now. Now with all the adhesive loosened and we can remove this, the stat lock. So there's the old stat lock. This is a blue one. They come in different sizes. This is a 10 to 12. So now with the stat lock off, I'm just going to take another alcohol wipe just to wipe, because there's some crusties there, just to wipe it off a little bit. Just to clean that. And there's some adhesive down here where the bandage was, so I'm just going to try and clean that off a little bit. You want to make sure you don't pull the tube out at all. The stat lock comes with one of these cleaning pads. Now we've got multiple stat locks here, and there's different sizes. You can see there's a universal 10 to 12, and they seem to be color coded as well. Now the size that you need is written somewhere on here, and I believe it's underneath the tape here that I've put on. So this is tape because ours cracked, or hers cracked, and you can see it's even kind of bent. So I believe the number is written there. But when you take it off, it actually says right on it, it has the size. So before you take it off, you can take a look at it and see what size you need. So this is one of the ones that was the wrong size, and you can see it's a different color than the previous one. The one that was on there was blue, and the blue is a 10 to 12. Or at least that's what it was for ours. I believe they're all color coded. So the size, if you're wondering what the size is, it's not the size of the bandage, it's the size of the tube that fits through that little notch there. This notch here is like a rubbery kind of substance, so you can push the tube in there. And there's a certain way that this goes on too. We have some other sizes of stat locks. So this is the 6 to 8.5, and this is the 14 to 16. And the only thing different is the color and the size of the tubing. You can see that the green one is a very small tube and the yellow one is very large. And if you're to put the wrong size one on, you could either pinch the tube, or when it's on, this would slide. So it wouldn't hold the tube in place. Oops. So I've got the correct size here. I've got the correct size, which is a 10-12, and it's blue. So when we open it up, we'll see. It's blue, same as the one that I just took off. So before we do that, we're going to take the cleaning prep pad and just clean the area of any glues or whatever are there. So I ended up changing my gloves because there's adhesive on them. And now we don't have, it doesn't seem to be sticky where we're going to be putting the new stat lock. So to put the new stat lock on, some of them have an arrow showing which way they go on. This one, I do not see an arrow on it. But I'm going to put it on the same way as the other one was, and that was with the clamp on this side. So the first thing you do is clamp it on. So you push the tube into the channel there, and then you close the, make sure that that's in the right spot. Then you close the clasp, and you want to push where these 3 dashes are. You don't want to push in the middle because you could be squishing the tubing. So you close there. So I'm just pushing with this thumb to lock it in place. And then we kind of roughly position it. Now I was very careful not to pull the tube out or to push it in. And we can measure that after to make sure that that hasn't happened. But then to stick it on, you pull the adhesive away, the backing away. Oh, that's for the other side. We're also given this, which is just a piece of paper with like a measuring guide on it. It's basically a ruler, and we also were given this, which is a tape measure. So when you're done, you can be a seamstress too. So this one's in inches, the other one is in centimeters. So this is one we're going to use because I think the measurement was written down in centimeters. You want to be consistent with your measurement. You want to be measuring from where the tube goes in to a certain spot on here. So either the end of this or the end of this. And you want it to be consistent with what you measured last time. And this one is about right. So now this stat lock is going to stop it from, you know, if you catch this on something, it's not going to pull out of where it goes into your skin. And the difference with these is, like I said, the size of the channel where the tubing goes. So if you had the wrong size on here, for instance, you had this one on because that's the only one you had, and you clamp that, what can happen is it can actually move. So I'm moving the stat lock. Normally the stat lock's not going to move. You'd be pulling the tube out of the patient. So that's why you have to have the right size. You want to make sure you've got the right size. So I'm going to remove this. And that's how you replace a stat lock.